the rich lady's first love. I met a poor street boy, and they just spent the night in the park. The girl found out she was pregnant. I wanted to give birth to the baby secretly, forcing each other's fathers to agree. But when you are 9 months pregnant, father still discovered his secret. After a heated argument, the girl stormed out the door, but unfortunately had a serious car accident. He just came out of a coma. His father lied to him. The child has been lost in the accident. Lyra believed her father's lies. I also decided that I would never see the poor boy again in this life. At this time, perfectly in the nursery. The magic is accompanied by the crisp wind bell. His little hands were dancing like fairies. A generation of musical geniuses was born. But unfortunately, he was about to be sent to an orphanage. I thought that the fate of the three of them ended here. Years of fate are turning silently. 10 years in the blink of an eye. Lyra gave up on 10,000 grabbing cello became stage. A music teacher, and poor boy Carl became a singer in a music. He used that gripping singing, wantonly swaying thoughts of Lyra. Soon Lila's father was critically ill. On his deathbed, he told his daughter the truth. He was so young. Where I made a choice for us. Reiner was shocked by the sudden news. He didn't want to stay for a moment. I started frantically asking around for news about the child. At the same time, Elvin became the orphanage's most famous also because he can hear music notes. He believed in this innate ability. It's a mother's call to herself. To reunite with my parents, he decided to go to the big city alone. But it's also a rash decision. Let him become on the road to reuniting with his parents. When Layla came to Children's Services for information, the staff asked him to provide detailed information. Then go back and wait for the news. Lyra was eager to find immediately found the leader here. I pray that I can make an exception to find some information for myself. To me now. Why now? I've waited 11 years, 2 months and 15 days to find out that he's alive. Lyra's begging eyes moved the other party. When the leader inquired about a missing person notice on the wall, take a straight look. Lyla was fascinated by Elvin's photos. There seems to be a mother-son intuition. And the photos taken by the staff. I just happened to be sure that this is my child. And unfortunately, just the other day he disappeared from the orphanage. And Elvin, at this time, walking alone in the crowded street. Suddenly he was attracted by the little black boy who stared at the novel instrument in his hand. He couldn't help but want to reach out and touch, but was scolded by the other party. So he quickly took out the only 10 yuan. The other party immediately changed his attitude. When I learned that Elvin was homeless, Little Black took him to the abandoned Great Hall. There are a lot of entertainers living here, and they're led by John the Snake. He will collect it on time. Children's hard-earned money. If someone repeatedly fails to make money, severely reprimanded. He might even go to work hungry. However, Elvin decided to join them. Here are his favorite instruments. And just as everyone was sleeping that night, Elvin quietly came to the guitar. He just touches. The crisp sound fascinated him. He can't help but use his hands. The beautiful melody instantly fills the entire hall. Partners are attracted. John praised Elvin as a once-in-a-century wizard and take him seriously. Explained the relevant knowledge he said that music is like the hidden energy in the universe us all the time. If you can feel it, then it's easy to handle him. Just this brief conversation, Elvin's understanding of music is children. The next day, John couldn't wait to take him to the streets. The store Elvin uses his unique playing method with a beautiful voice. The melody spreads like sounds from outside the sky. Attracted a large number of the money he earns alone, more than all the other companions John combined. Thinks such an excellent child. You have to have a big stage name. So I named Elvin August. He longed for the name to become a superstar in the future. But Elvin is not interested in fame and fortune. Cared about later becoming famous. Can parents see themselves on TV? And Layla on the other side. In order to find Elvin immediately decided to pick up the cello to play. This way you can expand your influence. Not long after, the police did find where Elvin lived. But John, he has long regarded Elvin as his cash cow. That the police were taking him back to the orphanage. Tell him to run away. He also told him that he could only use one person in the other party. Started running away like crazy. He came to a church. The little girl who was singing found him. When I learned that Elvin was homeless, kindly take him in. The next day, the girl discovers that the other person is obsessed with music to teach him some basics of five-line notation. However, no one would have Elvin warned to listen to the noise outside. Inspiration floods into my mind like a tide. And in half a day, he was able to compose very complex music. The full sheet very music. Shocked. I just touched the piano this morning. I can write a song in the afternoon. Such talent. Even Mozart was ashamed. When the girl called the priest, AI went skillfully playing the tune he wrote. The priest believes this must be an angel sent by God. He should do his duty. Don't let angels bury their talent. So he put Elvin sent to the most famous local music academy. The professor was deeply impressed by his amazing talent. I immediately decided to let him stay. Only a short month later, Elvin has composed a complex rhapsody. Even the principal couldn't help but sigh after seeing it. Sister. It's hard for people to understand. Then the principal called a meeting. Proposed. Let Elvin play this rhapsody in concert. And then Elvin asked if there would be 100 people watching. Everyone to burst into laughter. This big triennial concert, tens of thousands of people watched thinking of finally having a chance for parents to see themselves. Here we go. Concentrate on collecting inspiration to optimize his own rhapsody. Every member of the orchestra. They also actively cooperate with even New York's most famous conductor. All were moved by his talent. He personally pointed out the shortcomings for diligently Elvin, caring for the young musical genius, and Layla on the other side, also invited to participate in the orchestra. I thought everything was going in the right direction. However, John found learning at this time. He's going to take Elvin away. The professor asks him about his relationship with Elvin. In rude words, he was his father. However, Elvin refused to leave with him. He said he was going to the concert, but John threatened to send him back to the orphanage. Elvin doesn't want to go back to the orphanage with him. He was once again arranged to perform on the street, and he was drawn to this particular melody. He didn't know he had a son. And Elvin, he also has an inexplicable kindness to the man in front of him on his guitar. He also offered to play with his musical instrument for a while, who had never met. They played a tune together. At this moment, music served as a bridge to their friendship. Like Carl can't help but admire the other party's talent. Elvin is bearing his talent by performing in this park. I was going to the concert tonight, but it was forced to stop for some reason. Carl encouraged him if it was something he liked. Even if the sky falls, have the courage to challenge. That's what life is all about. Carl took the initiative and Elvin also named one of his August. But just then, John yelled from a distance. He was worried that his cash cow might be stolen. The two had to say goodbye reluctantly. The musical performance begins. Layla makes a grand debut as the opening guest. Although it has not been on the stage for 10 years, his fame continued to excite audiences. With a beautiful melody, the sound of a piano that seems to travel. Not only does it tell the deep love, more like a gentle breeze blowing through every corner of the street. Audience is immersed in it. It's like having a heart journey. Elvin also felt that deep affection, so he bravely told John that I had to go now. I'm not coming back this time. Wait for John to react. And Elvin ran away. But soon he was cornered. And at this critical moment, Black knocks John down with his guitar. Let them know it's right. Accompanied by warm applause, Lyra stared deeply into the distance. It was a silent call to my son. However, it is regrettable although the show is coming to an end. But Elvin didn't show up in time. The principal just wanted to inform the audience with regret. But just then, the little girl ran over in a hurry. Signal that Elvin has arrived. Oh, excellent, perhaps. There's no one else who can better personify the mystery that is music. As the lights come on, Elvin takes center stage, skillfully wielding the baton. His style is weird and unpredictable. Sometimes training like is like the wind, horses galloping. Sometimes like the breeze, that gripping tune resolutely amazed the mother who prompted him to stop slowly. And what's even more surprising Carl also saw the roadside ad. The name of Augustus is written on it. An inexplicable force made him get out of the car immediately towards the venue, and then you zip towards the stage. And at the same time, Lyra also made her way through the crowd. In this inadvertent moment, Carl suddenly turned his head and looked to the side. And Lyra was standing there quietly. He follows in their footsteps towards the stage. In the moment when Layla's heart slowly takes his hand again, this love that has been waiting for more than 10 years, it can finally continue. And Elvin on stage seems to feel the same way. Presence of parents, he slowly turned his head to look off the stage. eyes of the three intertwined at this moment, now turned into silent words. The great love that transcends time finally and space. Fulfilled at this moment.